So this is my first time doing some feeding braids in about 3 years. I'm using my best friend as my model. I like to shampoo and blow dry before I get started because I am a licensed stylist, so I am legally allowed to. I know that some people who only have a braider's license aren't allowed to. And I'm treating my best friend somewhat like a real client today, so I did offer her the complimentary wine. For feed-in braids, I know you guys see it all the time where they say like, oh, come blow dried straight or something like that. I do like to get them as straight as possible with just the blow dryer alone. Now, before I actually start braiding, I do what I call like a rough draft. So I go ahead and I just twist off sections. She's only getting 6 braids because I really didn't have it in me to do any more than 6 today. It was a Saturday and I didn't want to be there all day. So yeah, after I get her blow dry as straight as possible, I go through and I just part off 6 braids and I twist them down. I call them a rough draft because they don't have to be perfect. Just to kind of, because you don't want to put all that work in and then you get to the last braid and it's like, oh my gosh, this braid is going to be way smaller than the previous braids. So that's why I do this. Also, you know, once you are finished twisting them all off, I go through one by one and unravel them before I start to braid the next one. But when I unravel it, that's when I go through and I'll clean up the parts. So if I'm like, okay, this braid needs a little bit more hair in it and the one next to it needs a little less, you know, that's when you go through and just clean them up. That's another way, especially like if you're a beginner braider, that's just a way to make sure like you don't mess up. You can see exactly what you're doing. And there we have it. Again, they are not perfect, but it's just a rough draft to make it easier for me to go along. And as I braid, I will be kind of cleaning up the parts a little bit. This was just a quick, you know. I believe this hair is called Spectra. I can't remember. I'll put it in the description below. I like to prep. I mean, some people, she's my best friend, so I really could have had her just hold it. I am using Styler Fixer Braiding Gel by Kiss. And what I will say because I used to braid a lot, this is my first time braiding with something so thick. I do like it, but it is extremely thick. I have a friend who loves this texture for braiding because it's so thick. It kind of makes you braid a little bit tighter, but it locks in there, it holds it. My best friend said that these braids did last her a while. Like a week later, she said that the braids were still crispy, and I know it's because of the thick consistency. So starting off, I stitch because I don't want the front to look bulky. I need it to look natural. I am braiding about 1 inch down before I add the hair. And when I'm stitching, I'm not focusing on slicing my finger all the way through the braid. I'm just going from one side to the center, you know, next side to the center, if that makes sense. And use enough product. If you're not using enough product, your braids will not look right. And then you see me just adding a little bit more as I go. A little more product, I mean, as I go. And look at that. I really like how they look nice and clean. And you see how it starts off small and then gradually gets bigger. It's because I did not add the braiding hair In the very beginning, I just wait like an inch and then I start to add the hair. This is like the final touches. This helps the braids last longer, adds more shine. After all my braids, I always use this product. It's like my favorite. And then I just top it off with a little bit of spritz. Tie her down. And then she's going to go under the dryer for just about 5 minutes. Nothing crazy. If you don't want your ends to be stiff, you have to dip them in boiling hot water. And it's funny because I wish you guys could hear what we were saying. Like, my best friend is like my sister. All right, and this is the end. Taking that off. They look so nice. They look so clean. And this is the last touch, just to add a little bit more shine, because I do not like dull braids. I mean, I feel like when anyone leaves the hair salon, whatever hairstyle you get, it should not look dull. But look at that. They turned out great, and I'm actually surprised. Like, it's been 3 years since I've done these braids. So I'm excited to do more, try more products, and let you guys know how they work.